So, the reason I said it was a journey with my Scrambler is because for it to make a bike that I really enjoy, I had to do some things to it that made me think that it was a journey. It was a journey of many little things that I kept adding on and on and on and on that made this bike this perfect bike that it is now. So let me start with what the biggest problem I faced with this bike was the height. How do you reduce the height? Because I'm 6 feet, and on 6 feet, I was tiptoeing, especially on gnarly areas. If there's an incline, decline, or something, I had no confidence that I could land my feet, and that created a big problem for me. The whole confidence was shot because of it. I dropped the bike 3 4 days after buying it because I was not confident on the height. So it was a long journey just for the height of it. And then the second thing was the weight reduction. So these are the two basic things and the main things I worked on this bike. So what did I do with the height? Well, these are the TEC springs that reduces the height when you sit on it, not when it's standing, but when you sit on it, it reduces the springs are, although the length of the spring is the same as OEM, but the spring rate is different, so it's a little softer, so it just sits a little lower. So when you sit on it, it reduces about an inch and a half for this TEC spring. Man, they were a lifesaver. With doing that, I also reduced this 1 inch, about an inch, 3/4 of an inch, the front. So you could do that. This is already in there. You can do that, and that part reduces the height from the front about 3/4 of an inch, and this spring gives you another 1 inch, inch and a half. And so that, in conjunction with that, made my life a lot easier on the bike. So height wise, these were the two things I did: the spring and this reduction of this right here. These two things reduced the height quite, enough for me to be very comfortable with it. Then came the weight. So when I dropped the bike, you think this bike is light. Picking it up will be easy. It's a thin bike. Sucker is heavy, especially because it's such a flat bike with no fairing. It lays down very flat. So to pick it up, you literally have to go down all the way down. This is not like a GS where the engine casing protects it from going all the way down and it's like 30-40 degree angle. This sucker sits like flat on the thing. So weight became a big issue. I'm like, I need to reduce the weight. So the first thing I did was took, decatted, and put the TEC exhaust. The I'll put the specs up, what I did for the whole weight reduction thing. I have it written down somewhere. And that thing was about 19, 16, 17, about 15, 16 pounds, the whole exhaust and the cat and all that stuff. Took it out. This is like 3-4 pounds, and it's all on the top. So when it lays down, it's not difficult to pick up because it's all on the top, and it makes it quite nimble actually. The biggest benefit of taking that exhaust out is makes it very nimble. It's so light on the top now, you can literally throw the bike around now. I'm telling you, it makes a big, huge difference. That is that's one thing I did for the weight reduction. The second big thing I did for the weight reduction was to take the battery out and put a lithium ion battery, because the battery also sits pretty high. So if the battery sits that high, that means that's also some weight that goes off. The battery was heavy. Lithium ion anti-gravity battery I put on for the pound. It was like I didn't even believe it was the battery. It was that light. Put the anti-gravity battery on, take the exhaust out, put a tech exhaust or whatever exhaust you want to put, decat it, make it lighter. And then this engine guards, this engine guards, I put it from when I took it off from the dealer. I told them to install this. That was there. But then I realized when it falls, it's still falling very flat. So I got this SW Mototech side guards, came highly recommended from all the Triumph groups and all that. Put that in there. Makes a difference. It doesn't make a huge difference, but it makes a difference. Makes a difference enough for you to, all right, I don't have to bend that much, but I have to bend a little bit. So it's there. That was the second or the third thing I did because I was so uncomfortable with the height that it was bothering me, and I was not a adventure rider or a dirt bike rider who was used to taller bikes. I was used to the bikes, a comfortable bike that I could just sit on, put my feet down and feel comfortable. That was the kind of rider I was. I have a Triumph Rocket 3R, if you have seen it, that review. So when this bike came, it was very uncomfortable. It was a problem for me to put my feet down. So I had to do all these things, reduce the weight, reduce everything, and reduce the height. And I kept on going. Then, thinking of another weight thing, I took the OEM mirrors out, put these tech mirrors in, TEC mirrors. And when I tell you they can take a beating, they can take a beating. I did a dirt school. The video is on there on the channel. I must have dropped the bike at least 4 times, 5 times, right in the ruts, right in everything. Picked the bike right up. The mirrors are still like they were brand new. Very good stuff. TEC stuff, can't go wrong with them. So that was that. And then I started looking at other ways to reduce the weight. So I went carbon. Carbon this, all carbon parts, all metal parts taken out, all carbon parts, everything. This is all carbon, 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 everywhere. This is all carbon stuff, whatever I can put on. Then I put this on, it makes it look pretty mean. Look at this. This high mudguard makes it look really cool. Look at this. And then I put these XL things, whatever Triumph, whatever, all the Triumph parts are on there. Okay. I put fog lights in there because it just makes it look cool, and I was thinking maybe I will use it. I never use fog lights, but still in case. I put this. This was the metal one, Triumph OEM. There's a plate. I think it comes with the plate. This XE model comes with the plate. So that plate is also there. And then what other thing I did to it? Yes, I got it from DNK Tuneworks. I got it tuned, decatted and detuned. If you're gonna get it decat, make sure you put a tune on it, because I'm telling you, just by putting the tune on it, DNK Tunework tune, it's a freight train after this. I mean, sometimes I cannot believe it's the same bike. I mean, at max, I must have touched, with my weight, I'm a heavy guy, I must have touched 90-95 initially when the bike was here. There was no tune, it was not decatted. Now it doesn't even sweat till 105. You can go all the way 105, still won't sweat. I mean, it's fast now and it goes like crazy. I mean, you don't even, one day I did a wheelie on it in road mode. That's how, I mean, It's a great bike. And I changed the tires on it because I had the OEM tires. But when we started to do dirt school people said you cannot go with OEM tires, so we had to change the tires. It's the best thing I did for this bike. Initially, these tires, I mean, if you're not used to dirt tires, it takes getting used to. A guy like me who doesn't have much experience in riding, not much great. I was doing great with the OEM tires, but and when I put these on, I had to literally go back to school and literally learn how to ride with these tires. What kind of leans, what kind of how to proceed with the leans, no slip-ons, no nothing. It took a while, but once you get used to it, it makes your riding capacity better. So if you're getting this, get this. Make sure you put these tires on. This is a Anarchy Wild tires, one of the best tires. I mean, it's great on dirt, great on like highway riding, this, that, no problem whatsoever. Then I put this torque. This is my tool bag. I put the side thing in there. These are the OEM bag. Works great. I don't need any other bag. It's actually very spacious. It can put a lot of stuff in there. Then you'll see, what the hell? What is this? This is the unit garage rack. I didn't put no bag on it because there's enough bags. The reason I put this rack one is actually to protect, because bike was dropping too much. Like whenever it used to drop, this guard is great to protect the shocks. Doesn't go anything inside. It protects the exhaust. I mean, that's what I needed. I need it for protection. This is basically protection. When I put a bag on it, maybe. When I put a bag on it, I'll put a bag on it. But that is one of the advantages of putting that rack, that thing. And what else? I tried to put gel in the seats. I have another seat with the gel on, but I realized later on that the OEM seat is actually very good and you don't need to put a gel on it. There is no gel insert or anything like you need to put on it. And then the Moscow Moto. Such a freaking great bag, I tell you. I mean, I have a video on it, how I put it together. It's on my channel. But if you look at this bag, I mean, I can't fill it up. I don't have enough things to put on. I got a tool bag, I got that stuff going. I don't need to put this on. It's like, what? Come on. What do I put there? Nothing. I have nothing. And these guards, you can see they have taken a beating. This side especially, it has taken a beating. I'm still using, I have an extra one, but I haven't put them on because I'm like, I know it's going to take a beating, so might as well just keep doing it. I also put the NOT.STAT windshield. That's the bracket for it. The video is on the channel, how to put it. The bracket is there. I don't enjoy it that much. I mean, it's there when I have a long highway ride going, maybe in case of that. But other than that, I don't enjoy it. It creates some kind of buffeting that I'm not enjoying. So I try not to put it on. So, but it's there. I mean, when I need it, I use it. When I know I have to go for a long highway ride, I will put it on. Then I have quad lock. Quad lock goes this insert and it goes right here. I have changed the air filter to a K&N air filter. All this work is done by me. So everything that you see on this bike, everything except these engine guards, everything is done by me. So that means if I can do it, trust me, anybody can do this. That's another thing about Triumphs. They are easy to work on. You can literally figure it out because everything is right here in the open. Okay, this is the nut. This is what you have to open. This is what you have to open. This is what you have to close. This is what you have to do. And that's it. You keep doing it, keep learning it. There's so many videos online for this. It's like this treasure trove of information to do everything. And whatever video I don't find online, I put it myself so people know. I did not remove these guards because I think that's another way of protecting the bike. And this, very, 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 very helpful. This is the Black Dog pegs, this side and that side, of course, both sides. This one is a little hard to put on because of the gear shifter. I have a video I think up there on the channel, but this is, if among other things that are game changers on this bike, this peg is also a game changer. I'll tell you why. Because this side it's okay, but this side you get this exhaust coming in. So the original peg is only like this much and this is this much, so it gives you a lot more room to stand on and maneuver the bike while standing. If you're doing dirt, it makes it look, makes the bike feel much wider when you sit on it. So if you do that, that way it feels much more comfortable. That's a definite recommendation for me, who has done about 5,000 miles on this bike, to get it done. This pegs, definitely. It will change the bike for you. It will make the bike much more comfortable, much more trustworthy, for the lack of the better word. So, how is the bike? The bike is actually excellent. I mean, I can do a lot of things on it. I have done dirt riding on it. I have done highway miles on it, 200, 300 miles a day, not a problem. It just goes on and on and on. And if you get it decatted, get it lightweighted, and put a DNK tune, or I mean any tune works, any tuning, get it done, and you will love this bike. This is my bike when I just want to ride and not worry about, ooh, do I need to do this? Do I need, no, nothing. Just sit on it and keep going. No matter what the road is, no matter if it is dirt, track, sand. I've done a lot of sand in this, and it's a great bike that way. So, I mean, just to explain how this thing works, it has a couple of modes in it, which is very helpful if you're going to do any kind of off-roading. I mean, it has riding modes. So if you go to riding modes, this is the road. Let me see. This is the road. This is, wait, this is road, sport, off-road, off-road pro, rider, rain. I normally keep it on road because after the tuning that I did, I don't need to put it on sport. Fucking the bike goes crazy, so I don't need to. Definitely, if you're gonna do off-roading, put it in off-road pro. Don't put it in off-road, just off-road, because off-road, just off-road also is interfering. Put it in off-road pro and go with it, and trust me, the bike will take care of it. Put it in off-road pro. That's my recommendation. You don't need to put it in off-road. Put it in off-road pro. What else is there? Let's see. Home, riding modes. This is how you move it around. Riding modes. Riding mode. Riding modes, bike setup, trip setup, display setup. All this, like, I mean, it has a lot of stuff. I mean, it's very easy to maneuver. It's not very hard. So I don't need to go. I mean, if you ride bikes, you'll figure it out. There's time and all that stuff, and then there's, don't get this stuff. I got it because I was not used to try. I never use it. There's a USB thing under there, under the seat. There's a USB plug, so use that, and that's what I use to put it right there. The benefit of that is it turns on and off with the bike, so you don't have to worry about, ooh, am I going to discharge anything? No. See, it's on right now. When I turn the bike off, it turns off. So that's a big advantage of having that USB in there. That way you don't have to worry about the fact that, oh, I'm going to discharge this, I'm going to discharge that. What else? What else? But I mean, as far as the bike goes, the it is, if you are looking for a beginner bike, I put that word in quotes. If you're looking for a bike that is more than 1000 cc but still feels like anybody can ride it, this is the bike. I mean, all Triumphs are like that, I would say, because for some reason they know how to make bikes. They figured it out how anybody, any regular Joe can ride any bike on them. I have a Rocket 2500 cc bike. I was coming from my 800 cc Suzuki Boulevard. I was able to ride it fine. So that's Triumph for you. You don't need a learning curve in them. You need a curve to understand how to exploit the bike, but you don't need a learning curve to ride the bike. What else? What else? La, 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 la. That's about it. That's what I did. So this is the reason I say that it's my journey, because I've done a lot of things to this bike to get it right, to get it to my need and my liking. And I'm telling you, it still doesn't, after doing all this, it doesn't leave me thinking, oh, I need to do something else. No, this bike at this point is perfect. This is it. This is all I'm going to ever do to this bike. And I don't need to do anything else to this bike. This bike is perfect now the way it is. I don't need to reduce the weight. I don't need to reduce the height. I don't need to do anything with it. This is how I like this bike. And I'm telling you, if you're a 6 feet guy, I'm a heavy set guy. I mean, so my problems were different than most normal people problems. But if you're a 6 feet guy, and if you get this bike, I mean, if you're more than 6 feet, this is a perfect bike. But if you're 6 feet and you're not okay with touching your feet, go with XC. If you go with XC, the only difference with the XC is you get a smaller wheel, like 19-inch, and the shocks are not that big. I mean, not that long. I think they're smaller shocks. But other than that, all other things you can add them on, remove them, and all that other stuff. But I love this bike for what it is and what I can do out of it. I have named it Loki because the other bike, the Rocket, I've named it Thor. This is the brother of Thor that taught me how to be naughty, for the lack of the better word. The day I bought this bike, I have never cut lanes on a highway until I bought this bike. I mean, it was like raring me, come on, what the hell are you doing? Go, go, go. And I love this bike. Is there any bad thing? Height was my biggest problem with it. Weight, up top, high up top weight, that's a big that was a little problem for me. But once I took care of all those things, it is a great bike. I mean, I keep looking to add things on it, but I think it's done. It's perfect. What I would rather do, if I have to do it later, I'll probably powder coat that silver. Other than that, I love this bike. Any other questions I can think of? Let me think of. I got everything done. Everything that I have done to this bike, sooner or later you will realize that needs to get done. You would do it. So I mean, I can put the list on there. I'll probably put the list at the end. But all these things you will end up doing. I'll put the brake paddles, wider brake paddles, because off-roading, wider and higher, because off-roading I was having a little issue with my big shoes, so I put it that way and works great. So all these things that I've done to this bike, you will end up doing. If you want to exploit the bike fully for what it is capable of, you need to do all these things, and sooner or later you will realize it on your own. I don't think I have done anything that didn't need to done. I didn't need to change the indicators. They are fine. It's a cosmetic thing. People like to do it. Remove the tail tidy. I didn't. I thought the tail tidy was important. I mean, I have the tail tidy, tech tail tidy, but I didn't put it because I'm thinking this is a leverage. This is an attachment point. I can put something on and attach something with it. Why remove it? I didn't do that. Other than that, this bike is freaking awesome. If you test ride it, I test rode it on Monday. I had put a deposit down on it on Wednesday. On Friday, I went and picked it up. That's how the bike was for me. Instant love. And it is going to be for you too. Trust me on this. If you're looking for a bike that is not a BMW GS, Tiger 1200, a bike that is thin, sleek, make you look feel a little naughty, and all that other stuff, this is the bike for you, man. This is the bike for anybody for that matter.